Okay. I'm a little bit annoyed because we've just had some technical difficulties. I recorded the whole video and now I'm having to do it again. So, yeah, maybe it'll be a good thing because the video will be shorter. So let me get into it. Okay, this video is about the importance of having a hobby. This sucks. I already did this. Okay, it's important of having a competitive hobby. Okay, having a competitive hobby will help a lot with your mental health and well-being, and can also be great for physical health and well-being, for many reasons, including that, when you're in it, when you're involved in a competitive, and specifically competitive because it's you have to focus. It sort of releases endorphins and hormones, but in a controlled way, so it's not like overloading your system. And it like builds your self-esteem because it's something you can track and improve. So yeah, if you're going through life and you feel like you're not really like achieving everything you want to achieve, or you just feel like there's a little bit of lack, I really encourage you to try and get into a competitive hobby. Okay, and so I think I've found the best competitive hobby out there. And I'll go into what it is and the reasons why. But first, I just want to do a little bit of backstory about me and how the competitive stuff I've been involved with, and what I think about it. So, first, obviously, so I did do sports growing up in school, but I was never really great at them, and injuries was always something I was very worried about, because I use my hands a lot, playing guitar and doing like my computer stuff. So it was always like there was a lot of risk there, and I didn't enjoy it that much. And I also have asthma, so just doing sports was not really the thing for me. But if you can, and you love sports, or you loved it in the past, or even athletics, that type of thing, there is a lot of opportunities for that to be your competitive hobby, like climbing or whatever. And like if that's what you want to do, I encourage you to go for it. And also just make sure you're staying safe, like don't hurt your body, don't push yourself too far. And then on the other side, you've got more like video games, which are also can be very competitive, like especially like first person shooters and some strategy games. And that's something that I got involved with a lot, when I was younger, and I enjoyed them a lot, and I think I was quite good. But I was never good enough to win any competitions or be like on a permanent placement on an esports team. But I like I was the best in my friend group, and at least after a lot of practice, because we actually had a pretty competitive LAN group, and some of the guys were insane and probably are still insane. Sorry, I'm reminiscing a little bit now, but that's my point, is that doing these competitive things where you push yourself can really just give you some great experiences. But the problem with first person shooters is, of course, there's a lot of cheating, and there's a lot of like toxicity involved. And I also think that just like the scope, it's not very physical, right? So you're not really building your body in any good productive way. You're getting good at using a mouse to click a pixel, which is not really such a, or like it's not a transferable skill, in any way. But can be a lot of fun. There's also strategy games, which can also be like great, and I would say even better for mental health than your first person shooters. As much as it can still be a bit of a toxic environment, it's not so bad. But the fact that it's a strategy game forces you to do more like planning and multitasking. I think it just gets your brain a bit more involved, which is a good thing. It like just increases your brain activity, probably reduces your like brain age. And I used to play competitive StarCraft, and I think I got a bit addicted and played too much. Like obviously the matches can be very intense, but it was still a positive experience. Like it taught me a lot about just like strategizing, and well, you had to learn like different builds and openings and all kinds of things, counters for different units and how to micro them optimally, and so like definitely there's a lot there. And if you haven't gotten into that sort of thing, I would encourage you to give it a try. But moving on to what I think is the best like hobby, like competitive hobby that you can do basically with minimal risk of injury, and you can do it like all year round, and in the grand scheme of things it's not that expensive, and that is sim racing. So before I get into sim racing, I will also say that VR has some great opportunities now for like VR shooting games. um, I mean, that's VR is a lot more physically active, and you've also got like simulators, like flight simulators and things like that. But they're a bit more niche, I would say. Whereas sim racing is and has been like a growing niche for quite a while now. So there is like already like competitive leagues. There's places groups you can join where you can have a good environment to grow, and also like meet people, make some friends, and like encourage each other. And that's one of the best things about sim racing is it's like the community is good. You know, you've got people that are actually trying to just like help each other improve. um and there's always a level of like sportsmanship, like good sportsmanship that comes through. And I think that's reflected in like the rules of racing. It's you want to drive safely, you want to avoid contact, because you know you're simulating racing for real. And a lot of people who are into sim racing want to or already do also race on real life. And I mean lately it's become apparent how much sim racing can actually help the best of the best drivers in the world improve and be even better. Obviously Max Verstappen, for example, um, Misha. There's a few guys I'm not fully familiar with them. This is only like this is now going to be my second year actually getting more immersed into the world and sim racing and everything like that. So last year I was starting to be competitive, and I did the Moser Challenge, which was awesome. And that is available on SGP. So if you're looking for a league to get into, look at the SGP website. But also, Low Fuel Motorsport looks really good, and